god. Alright, we're gonna start today's video off on a good note, hopefully. Let's just get right into it. It's alive! Yes! Cranked it the first time. Sounds so good. Welcome to the vlog, guys. Alright, as you guys can tell, today is the day we are finally finishing up the Evo. Not completely, but mostly. So here is a tour of the engine bay. The full polished 3-inch exhaust out the hood, which is sick. Got the manifold. Here's a reveal of the valve cover. We painted it black. Got Meister turbo machined, as well as an Enticed Motorsports logo on it. We have the charge pipe to the intercooler, all polished as well. Intercooler is fully polished. Blow-off valve, wastegate. We got the wastegate dump that goes to the bottom instead of the top. The car is amazing, it starts up perfectly. We are waiting for the tuner to come to give us a base tune because unfortunately it is mod as well as SPOCOM this weekend and he has 0 time to fit us in on the dyno until next week. So he's gonna put us on a base tune. We have to go get a turbo screen. What else do we have to pick up?
Injectors.
The 1600 injectors so we can make some really good power on this motor. But right now, this thing is perfect. We also haven't released these on the channel yet, but I did get the brand new Greddy Series gauges that we still have to connect as well, and this is literally a piece of glass that illuminates with the gauge pod, which is really cool. But before we leave and do anything else, we're gonna go and start the car, make sure everything's running right, and then we're gonna leave and go run all of our errands before the tuner gets here. Oh man, so good. The turbo spool is so good. Oh my god. We're not gonna be able to drive it super hard today because it's not gonna be on the dyno. It's a pure like base tune just so I can drive it to SPOCOM and actually make the meet. But next week when we have it on the dyno, this thing is gonna be freaking crazy. Alright, heading out now. We're gonna go pick up my injectors, get my turbo filter, and then hopefully by the time we get back, the tuner will get here and we can actually start base tuning this car, doing some pulls. This car is gonna be wild, guys. So I'll show you guys when we pick up the injectors. Alright, we got the injectors. You guys can see 1600 injectors. We are good to go. We are having a little bit of trouble sourcing out a turbo screen. It's a small issue here, so I'll update you guys once we find one, if we do find one. Alright, we made it back to the shop. Here are the injectors in case you guys want to see them. Here are the 1600cc injectors. Really awesome. Haven't located a turbo filter yet, but while we're waiting for the tuner and everything, we are going to install the Greddy Series gauges, which are the little glass gauges that light up. They're crazy and I'm really, really stoked on it. So the directions were all in Japanese, so they've been having a really hard time installing them, but John thinks that he's figured it out, so I think we'll be good to go.
All right, here it goes.
We're gonna power it up. Oh my god! No way.
There's only like a handful of people that have them.
That's so sick. Oh.
They're both turbo.
Yeah.
You can actually adjust them for what you want. You know what I mean? For turbo, fuel pressure, volts, everything.
Dude, so good. This car is gonna be crazy. Okay, quick update. I really haven't been filming today because we've been working so much and getting ready for this tuner to get here, making sure everything is buttoned up. But overall, the car is pretty much finished. Exterior wise, all of the piping, everything, all the lines are ran. We have this covered up because we're about to pressure wash the car. We ended up getting a turbo filter. They had one in stock actually in that little storage unit thing right there. So went ahead and threw this on. It actually looks really cool and I like that a lot. But everything's buttoned up. We have the gauges set up inside. I'll actually show you guys these right now. Wires aren't ran for the gauges yet, but they do work. So crazy. Gauges are working. We just have to run the wires inside the car, and then we are about to put the bumper on. But before we can put the bumper on, I have to grind out some notches for where the intercooler sits on the bumper as well as the blow-off valve. Once those are notched, we can put the front bumper back on, pressure wash this car, and then we're just sitting and waiting for the tuner to get here. We got the bumper on, got this entire thing cleaned. All of the piping is polished, fully washed. We got the interior detailed as well. This thing looks incredible. It's around 11 o'clock at night, still waiting on the tuner. So we have not tuned this car yet, but if we're gonna pull an all-nighter before the show, we gotta do it. So I want this thing tuned. I wanna be able to drive it to the show. I don't wanna trailer it. So we gotta do what you gotta do. So we're still waiting on the tuner, but once he gets here, this thing is gonna be running, not fully, but it'll be running enough to where I can do some pulls and we can at least drive it home and drive it back to the shop. And then next week we will continue this and get the full dyno tune and everything. We got the injectors installed.
We're all set, pretty much.
Crazy story. The tuner's here. He is now in the process of tuning the car, but we had one small minor issue that's been taking us a long time. OB2 scanner would not scan or read anything on the computer, so I honestly thought that this car wasn't going to make it to the show tomorrow and it wasn't gonna be able to get a base tune done tonight. So we spent like an hour and a half. I even talked to the guy that I bought the car from, tried to help us for so long, and then we finally checked the fuse box. John flipped a fuse and it magically started working, and now he's in the process of doing a little bass tune right now. So fingers crossed that everything works. Not running good right now, but we got it started. That's a very good sign. It's so loud. Oh my god. Turbo noises. First time this car's moved in 3 months with the motor started, of course, but tuner's gonna take it, make sure it's driving okay, make sure I at least drive it to the meet and then come straight back here so we can get everything else figured out. But I'm gonna let him do his thing and I'll update you guys after. Oh, that blow off, dude.
How did it run? Pretty smooth? Oh, run smooth, man.
A few moments later.
You guys know how it was running earlier, and I'm about to leave right now, and nothing. We're thinking that it's the fuel. The injectors are so big that it's dumping so much fuel. Then he needs to adjust more for that, even though it was literally just running. It makes no sense. And oh man. All right, well, guess I'll update you guys when I know something more. All right, guys, you probably can't see me, but very good news. We got the car started. I'm about to drive it home right now, see how it runs, and I'll update you guys whenever I get back home. John's gonna follow me probably like a quarter of the way there to make sure all of my temps are good, everything on the car is good, and that nothing goes wrong. Keeping a close eye on my oil temps and the air to fuel ratio. These gauges are so sick. It's so loud and so awesome. This is literally insane. I have very little boost because I'm not on a tune. It's just a bass tune, so nothing really works. But all of these sounds, watch, listen to this. Oh my god, I don't want to get on it too much. I really am very scared to drive this car right now, but I have an hour drive home. I'll update you guys when I'm home and I get there safe. Oh, you guys have no idea how tired I am. It's 4 o'clock in the morning. I have to be up in 3 hours to make it to SPOCOM on time to set up my booth and get the car ready. I'm so tired that I just filled up my car all the way when I have to have a quarter of the tank to get inside of the venue tomorrow. So hopefully I can burn off pretty much an entire tank on the way to Anaheim. But car ran just fine on the way back home. No issues, thank God. We'll see if it starts right up right now. What I'm worried about tomorrow morning is that I have issues starting it. Hopefully not, fingers crossed. Pray for me, guys. Let's see if we can start this thing right up right now. Oh God, here we go. Oh, we got it, boys. We got it, boys. It takes a little bit of work, but this thing starts up, so. Guys, I'm so tired. I'm just gonna go ahead and end the video here. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in tomorrow's video at SPOCOM. Peace out.